Hi, Sydney. We're going to do a short interview today about some of the stuff you've been going through lately. So I'm going to ask you some pretty open-ended questions, but the
Okay.
biggest thing is about a guy named Danesh Nishirvan, who you know well, I know well. Talk to me about this man and who he is and how you came to know him and why we're here today.
I don't really know a lot about who he is, other than his platform. I posted a video on my TikTok account that had maybe had 30 views. There was no traction. There was no nothing. And then it went to 20 million views in a matter of moments, really. Um, and Dinesh had screenshotted my video and taken it out of context and then proceeded to put me beside a photo of a actual Nazi to make it that much more believable. He then tagged my workplace. He voiced where I was located, actually said my direct location in the video, and then posted my former employer's name everywhere so they would attack him as well. Um, but the video context that I had posted it and explained not to be hateful and to educate yourself on what someone is trying to say before you put them in this perspective. So, and then I was put into the poor perspective of that video. Um,
So you live in West Virginia, right?
yes,
So
yeah.
tell me a little bit about what's happened to you in your neighborhood, your community because of what this video.
Um, I've gotten a lot of hate online. I have lost mass business. I lost my job. I live in a very small community, so word of mouth is like everything here. And it's a very small town and it's all, I mean, everyone knows, you know? So like people have like approached me at like the gas station or at Walmart, and I don't go alone anywhere anymore. I come to work because there are people here, but I don't go to like Walmart by myself, or if I need to go get groceries with my kids, I don't take them alone anymore. I always have like my mom or my fiance with me because I've been approached. And I've been shared all through town, you know, and people believe whatever perspective they want. But if you have this many people believing a negative narrative versus this many people with a positive, it's going to have like a traumatic effect regardless.
Okay. So what talk to me about your business and your termination. What happened there? Talk to me. How'd that go down?
So the termination part, and I would like to clarify, I have no ill will for any of them, and I want them to all be very successful. And I really have made my peace with that. Um, but my termination, I went in that day.
And what's
Uh,
what what's the business? Explain what you're doing, the business, everything else.
so I'm a cosmetologist. Oh, sorry. I worked at Platinum Salon. Um,
What town?
and my,
What town is that?
it's in Bridgeport, and I mean, it's everywhere now. So it's in Bridgeport. And when it all started happening, you know, they mass called my workplace, and I even asked my boss, like, am I going to be fired for this? And he's like, no, like, absolutely not. I was like, well, do you want me to come to work tomorrow? Yes, of course. And his exact words, if I have to face it, you have to face it too. So I go into work and I work my full shift, and I was greeted very poorly by other staff members that have different outlooks on things. I was yelled at in the break room, and I still continued to work that shift. And I got home. Well, let me correct myself. I got to my fiance's mother's house because we couldn't even stay at our home because our home was being threatened. And then I was terminated. He called me up on the phone, and we were talking about the day and like everything that was like happening. And he just said I couldn't return and that I could get my things. And that
So
was the end of it.
who terminated you? Who's your employer?
His name is Corey
Corey. What's his last name?
Groves.
Corey Groves. Okay. And so he told you first, no, if I have to deal with this, you have to deal with this, you have to deal with this, I have to deal with this, and they were in
Yes.
lockstep. But then within say 24 hours of the
Not even 24 hours. We're talking a 6 hour increment.
okay of the social media explosion, he did a
Yes.
180 and said, I'm going to just abandon you. He's not going to support you and say, you
Yeah.
know what, you're on your own. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah. And then I was blocked as well. And this was like my previous best friend, and I have a lot of love for them. Um, so that's what makes it really hard because they were like the only people I had in my life for a long time. And then they watched me like grow and evolve as a human, and then they kind of left me when it did get really bad. And no one from the salon has spoke to me since. And we've been best friends for 4 years. We may not have all got along, and I think they're all great and I think they're wonderful, but none of them have reached out to me.
And this is
And
your community where you live. You've known these people for years. Do you
yes,
personally know Danesh Nashirvan?
no,
Do any of these people personally know Danesh Nashirvan?
no,
Has Danesh Nashirvan, to your knowledge, ever been in your town?
no,
Has he ever been in West Virginia, to your knowledge?
no.
And do you expect him ever to come to your town?
Wouldn't think so. There's not a lot here.
And do you ever expect him to associate with your former business associates in any way?
I mean, other than what he has already done, I mean, he did call them um, himself and did send emails and phone calls telling them to fire me or there would be like repercussions, um, along
So,
with thousands of others. But
but
oh,
so to your knowledge, those people felt harassed by Danesh and felt afraid of Danesh.
yes,
And you feel harassed by Danesh and you're afraid of Danesh.
yes,
Tell,
yes.
tell me how what happened, how the feeling of that harassment, the feeling of the fear for yourself, your family. Tell me a little bit about that.
I could never explain it to you in words. Um, I I'm a mental health person. I've struggled with mental health my whole life. Um, and I have a little boy and I have a stepson, and the fear of someone trying to take them from me, it crumbled me as a person. I didn't get out of bed for like 4 days. I couldn't even be a mother. Um, Luckily, his father is amazing and helped and knew what was happening and kept him at his home away from our home. Um, but it destroyed me. And I didn't really know like where to go. And I happened to stumble into like an amazing group of people that helped me get to where I am today. But I was applying at like serving jobs that were like 45 minutes to an hour away from me because I didn't want anyone to know who I was. We could have lost our home. I was our main source of income, and he took it all from me. So my world crumbled, and I wanted to be hospitalized, and everyone kind of just stood beside me and shoved me forward. And that's why I'm here today, of, the people around me that really got me through it.
And do you think you did anything wrong in your video?
I really don't. I really don't.
Basically, what was going through your mind with that video when you were making it, and tell me about
So I watched the perception, and how they were like, I don't know, being so negative and calling him such a vile name. And I don't care what like your political standpoint is either, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your point of view to treat someone like that. But when I made that video, I made it with the intention of stop being negative, and I captioned it undereducated people on like the front screen because it does come from truly just not knowing circumstances and not knowing what he had said of why I posted the video. And I posted it not thinking like it would ever be negative because my caption explained I was not being negative at all. And he didn't read the caption. He just took it out of context. And
he did read the caption, but he chose to ignore it and present it in a false.
yes,
Is that what you're saying?
yes, yeah, yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Talk a
Oh,
little.
no, that's all. That's it.
Okay, so are you familiar with any other victims of Dinesh? Have you heard of Aaron De La Torre? Have
I
you
have
heard of
not.
the case in Texas? Okay. Have you heard of Jennifer Couture in
That
Florida?
that is why I'm here. She actually reached out to me.
Okay.
Oh, Yeah.
And have you heard of other victims of Danesh? People that have destroyed?
I have not. I've really I shut it all down because I didn't want it to impact where I'm at today.
So
So
you deplatformed yourself. You took yourself off all of the internet and everything else.
yes. Yes.
And so how long have you been off the internet?
I just came back to the internet 3 weeks ago. So I was down for about a month and a half until I decided to come back.
Okay.
About a month. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think that, if it wasn't you or if things would have went a little differently, you could have been injured or injured yourself because
Yes.
of his actions? Do you
Yeah.
believe that somebody could have hurt you or your family because of his actions?
Yeah. He labeled me as a white supremacist and a Nazi. So anyone with an unstable mind, you know, they could have came to my home. They could have shot me. They could have tried to like hurt me because they believed I thought that. And that's not me. That's not what I believe. That's not what I think.
Do you believe Dinesh attacked you because you're white?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't even know why he attacked me. I don't even know if color has a thing to do with it. I think he's just it's how he gets paid. That's the reality of it. I don't really think it matters who you are. I think he makes his money off views and people love to watch his stuff because they think that he's doing a justice. But what they're not seeing is like the actual lives because he doesn't show that, you know. So I don't really know if it matters like color or ethnicity or anything like that. I
Well, he talks so much about race. Do you think he's racist?
I haven't watched his stuff.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
think?
when I say I haven't, I only watched my stuff. Yeah, I don't know anything about him at all.
Okay. Do you know what your employer, your former employer, was worried about? Were they worried about being called racist, or were they worried about being attacked? What was the driving force? Do you have any
I
idea?
would, Corey built his business by himself, and that's something to be proud of. And I think he was worried that it was taken from him. And so, like terminating me, I get it. It. Really, the only part that bothered me was the friendship aspect. Was just leaving me behind. Protecting your business if it's threatened, I can understand. But completely excluding someone from your life when they need you, that's what bothered me.
You said that he does this for the clicks. I can tell you that a lot of what he does is race based.
Okay.
Do you view him as a race baiter?
A what?
Race baiter, somebody like a internet Al Sharpton or an internet Jesse Jackson that tries to claim that somebody is a Nazi or a racist to get clicks. Do you think that's his modus operandi?
I mean, I think that was definitely the motivation behind it was he saw something that would get him more views. I think that. But
Do you think
racist, I don't know,
do you think he would have called you a Nazi if you were Asian or you were Hispanic or you were black?
I mean, probably not. It probably didn't help that I was, um, a younger white woman. I think, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know.
And do you think that your former employer and former friends should have done more to step up and defend you and protect you and not give in to Dinesh?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. But I'm that type of friend though. I would do anything to like protect the people around me. Um, and I even tried at all costs to protect Corey, and it was me being attacked. And I've still maintained that I don't wish ill will upon him, even though ill will was on me. Um, yeah, that's not who I am as like a person.
As a general thing, Dinesh is coming with his cancel culture mob, and
Hmm.
he has a guy like Corey who's put in an impossible situation, someone who's a friend and someone who is an employee, and they look at the potential to lose their entire business, and they cowtail to Dinesh for fear that their business will never recover. Do you think that if a group were to set up a counteroffensive and tell people like Corey that run away from their friends and run away from their employees, that other people, people on the right, per se, and the non woke people, would do a similar boycott of their business for them not sticking by their community, not sticking by their friends, not sticking by people who are part of their lives, people that go to the same schools and the same churches and are in the same community, and cowtailing to these, carpetbagging internet hate mongers. Do you think that that might be an effective way to kind of counter the power of somebody like Danesh?
I do. I do. I do think if there was more support when you're visibly watching someone's life be destroyed, for someone to stand there and speak up, I do think that would make an impact. I think, you know, and it probably would have saved my job. Not that I wanted it to be saved, because I am blessed beyond measure of where I've ended up. Um, but it definitely would have made a big difference. But I don't know. I think he would probably cower either way at any, if it affected him in any way. So I don't know.
So you think a business owner might be given pause though if they knew that there was a boycott coming, for them giving up their people that they grew up with, people in their community, people that they're
Yeah.
friends, people that are their coworkers, people that are in the same schools and the same churches.
I
And
definitely think there would be a pause. And as a community, especially like where we are from, that's like what it's all about, because it is like small town based. And if you have people standing beside you, they would love to show, like, I would rather see someone be supported online and protected online rather than watch them be destroyed. So if there was that and you had all these people saying this is wrong, it, it would be better. But there wasn't that. I didn't have any of that. I just had my old boss make a post that he had terminated me because he doesn't stand by my views, and then just attacked even more because then it was publicized in our community. And I don't even know how many people in our community had seen it at that point, but then they knew after that post. So
did you know that the United States Supreme Court, the justices of the court, are also victims of Dinesh? Did you know that he targeted the Supreme Court justices?
I did not know.
Did you know that he actually published the home addresses and the places of worship and the schools of the children of the Supreme Court justices that he didn't like? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Do you think that type of activity,
I think it's dangerous.
you think it's dangerous? What do you think should happen to people that do that, especially to public officials and public servants?
I mean, one word I go back to that he called me as a fascist. Um, and that's a cult leader. That's a group leader, right? And that's what he tried to label me as, but that's what he's doing. Is he's leading a cult of people in one direction to damage all these people. So I think, I don't even know how like the law works, but full punishment. I think you should be in prison. You can go to jail for something so small nowadays, and people sit in there for years. However many lives you destroy, that's each time is another count. So I think he's at like 500 and some people he's affected, which I do know that. That's life in prison. And I think that's what he should get, and that's what he deserves.
Did you know that Justice Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court justice, had someone come to his home with weapons, knife, burglary tools in a knapsack? He took a bus from California to Washington, D.C., and he was stopped by marshals. And when the marshals asked him what he was doing, he said he wanted to kill Justice Kavanaugh. And that was after Danesh had posted Justice Kavanaugh's address. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
And he's done this not only to people who have martial protection, like the justice of the court. He's done this to people like you, and people like Jen Couture, and people like Aaron De La Torre.
My thing is, how does he get away with all that? My lawyer's view was, well, he's like untouchable. This is like what he does. And I mean, looking at it, he is. someone out there causing like all these problems and there's nothing being done. So it's like, how do you bypass the law and not have any repercussion? I think that's why I'm bothered by the whole situation.
Do you think that the Justice Department and Attorney General Pam Bondi or the local authorities in West Virginia or in other places like Denton, Texas, where Aaron De La Torre is, or in Florida or in other places should prosecute people like Danesh, especially when there's harm?
Yes. Yeah, it's doxing. I mean, there's a whole term for it. Yeah, he should be prosecuted. Yeah.
And are you ever going to be the same again after your encounter with Danesh?
No, I'm very cautious on social media now. Very small group of people that I surround myself with. And I think that's just safety now. And I'm very careful with my verbiage and how I speak and how I carry myself now because I don't want anyone to ever view me in a poor light like that again.
Have you felt safe since Danesh doxed you?
No, no, I've had really bad anxiety. I have lost sleep. I've lost weight. And I mean, I went through a lot. So yeah,
Do you think you have post-traumatic stress disorder from what Dinesh did?
definitely I have probably a form. Um, when it comes to sleeping at night, I kind of like relive that. But it's not so much him posting me, it's the messages like I received,
How many messages did you receive?
thousands
And what
across every platform, threatening to kill me, kill my family. I didn't deserve to be a mother. Um, a lot of nasty, derogatory names. And they just kept coming in across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Um, Threads is where a lot of them were, and I had to take down every single account. And that's kind of like what I relive is like those messages.
do you think Dinesh is doing this himself? Do you think that his followers? Do you think there's AI? Do you think that there's automation involved? Do you have any inkling about that?
I don't, but there has to be help. It can't just be one person having that much force over people. I mean, especially someone on social media. His full his full-time job is being a bully. You know, he has to have like another way to get it out there other than just himself, unless his people are, just they'd love it. I don't know. I've never sat behind a keyboard and just bullied someone. So it could be AI, it could be, connections with the people that run TikTok or the people that run Instagram. Because that video of mine was reported hundreds of times and every single time it was denied. And I have screenshots of like them denying my report and they found nothing wrong. And I even put like them bullying me personally and I was denied.
Do you,
So
do you think the social media companies are to blame?
yeah, I do.
And do you think that maybe the law should change to hold them more accountable to internet bullies like Dinesh?
I do, because what if I was like a 16, 17, 18-year-old girl and not a grown woman or a boy at that fact that didn't have like the mental strength or the mental power to like go through that? And then a child would lose their life, or, there's like other ways to look at it. Um, Especially with kids watching it. I mean, kids are watching it. They see it. They know what it is. My little cousin saw the video, you know, and they're 10 and 12 years old and they're watching me be painted in that light. Um, so I can only imagine if that was to happen to, someone that was younger than me. And I don't really know if he cares about age, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I think he gave us a good picture of what's happened to you. Is there anything else you want to say?
I hope everyone gets justice. That's, and I'm thankful for where I am. I just want everyone to know that, and I'm very thankful.
All right. Thank you for your time today, Sydney.
Yep, thank you.